Fifth Skill is an entertainment show. Accordingly, subject matter discussed on this show may not be suitable for all ages. Parental discretion is advised. In no way does any part of the show reflect the morals or opinions of the YMCA or any associated organizations. Duplication of the show will be punishable by law. Restrictions apply. Results may vary. This is a DJ Beats production.
It's Fifth Skill, ladies and gentlemen. Let them know.
This is DJ Beats production.
You know it is, baby. It's time to do some work.
This is that roll call. Check them off, coach.
It's Miller time.
Yeah. And BT.
And Irene, you know it is so key.
Yeah. We got that roll call coming at you like a bus.
We're trying to make sure that all of y'all are watching us. We'll start with Claire Math. You know she in the A. Reed Musen at Miami mugging every day.
Michael Dawes in the big house wearing blue. Bailey Borchers doing big things at Vandy too.
We got our Bobcats, Avery Brandon, Sam and Murr. Rattle, rattle, here comes Howard Fritz and Kelsey Kerr. Sarah Stevens in Miami where we wish we were. John Simon holding down the perimeter.
Up to Charleston with Ashley and Melly C. Down to Southern, we're Dustin Man and Cody B.
Russell Schrader with that Auburn War Eagle pride versus Jack Kaysen screaming out, roll tide.
Kristen Sims up in Rocky Top, Tennessee. Cross country getting slushies with Audrey.
But most importantly, we got our Athens crew, UGA Bulldogs, coming after all of you.
Teeny Courtney Richter on the porch at AGD.
Whoop, whoop.
Dana Delta Sig hanging out with Barry.
We got Allie Briner, Iceman, and Christina. Heather Pratt's the oldest, she is a senior.
Dylan Schubert coming up for all the Georgia games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we just called out all the names.
You know we did. It's Fifth Skill, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to be back. For those of you who's first time watching this episode, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Thank you everybody so much for all the positive things you said about the show. And as long as you keep those comments coming, we're going to keep the videos coming.
Yeah. Gentlemen, it's time for our news segment now. First up, we're going to be talking about ALA weekends coming up. We actually have one coming up this coming up weekend, the September 19th and 20th. As all ALA weekends are set up for staff members, you have to be there Friday night at 7 p.m., I believe. Mm-hmm. So staff members who are going to work these weekends, please report there at 7. Please don't be late. No one ever wants to be that guy who walks in late and it's just kind of awkward, you know?
You don't want to wind up with the toolbox.
Like a wise man once said,
get real.
Get real. So
Absolutely.
please show up on time. This coming up weekend is not our only ALA weekend.
Hold on, let me jump in there real quick. If you're an upcoming CIT, remember to eat before you get to camp because you won't be having dinner there on Fridays.
Yes, that's huge. I mean, a lot of people get there and they're expecting to eat in the dining hall that Friday night and there's no food.
And there's just nothing there for them.
So stop by Chick-fil-A on the way, Wendy's, whatever quenches your hunger, and just get it dealt with beforehand, like you said.
That's right.
Like I said before, this weekend's not our only ALA weekend. So we have this weekend, September 19th and 20th. And then the following ALA weekend is October 24th and 25th.
Exclamation mark Raven Gap people.
Yes, sir. We'll be there. And many others will be there. It's going to be a fun weekend, as are the others. But, I mean, I know we're going to have a great time there. That's October 24th and 25th. And for you Georgia fans, we have a bye that week. So you guys can hop on that. And then the third ALA weekend is November 7th and 8th. That's November 7th and 8th. All of these are I believe these are Saturday, Sunday dates, but you have to be there on Friday. So that'll be reporting September 18th, reporting October 23rd, and November 6th.
Right, and if your staff looking to work one of these weekends, we have been given word that the November weekend is very understaffed right now. So if you want to work, try to get on that one if you can. It'd be greatly appreciated by Drew and everybody up at camp.
Oh yeah, the November weekend is going to be just as good as all the others. So if you're available that weekend, that'd be a great weekend to hop on.
Yeah, absolutely. And now some really, really exciting news for all the Raven Gap people over there and Chalakee people coming in. We originally had one jet ski working last summer and it worked out great, but this time we're going to have two. We're bringing one over with the removal of Chalakee where it's going to make some way for Indian Lake. We're going to get two jet skis now.
Oh, yes.
So hopefully we'll get back to buzzing around, getting bigger groups in there. And what kind of you've done it before. You've seen these kids come into bun busting skills, and there's only one jet ski. If something malfunctions, what's the backup plan for that? What do you do as a counselor? How do you react?
Well, this is what we did this past year. It took us 4 years to get this system going down right, but we've always had 2 jet skis, but one's always been broken. So we've only been running 1 jet ski, and this past year we decided to get one good jet ski, and it worked real well. But we had 2 problems sometimes, or there might have been seaweed up in the motor,
Right.
And the key to this is kids will, if it's just a tube problem, the jet ski still works. You can give the kids jet ski rides. We had a 3-seater, so if I was the teacher of the class, I would drive the jet ski, and we'd have the 2 kids on the back, And to be honest, a lot of the kids had more fun doing the jet ski rides than the bun busting themselves. But however, they signed up for bun busting, so that's obviously first priority. So both of them work. You are going to want to do that. But what do you think about the 2 jet skis? I mean, have you seen 2 jet skis work on Indian Lake? And for the people who don't know the size of Indian Lake, can you explain to them how that's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. The size of Indian Lake is probably going to be, if I'm thinking about this right, the opening cove of Lake Burton all the way to the other side, and then just cut those 2 wings off. And that's about how big Indian Lake. It's enough to do a pretty good size figure 8 in there with bun busting. It's plenty big for what we do. You can't swim across the lake, so I mean, it's big enough for what we do, and I'm excited because the last time we had 2 jet skis out on Indian Lake was my CIT and AC year, and I was back on land activities most of the time. So, from what I heard, it caused some problems having 2 jet skis out there that never worked, and it's just going to call for all the second-year heads to really step up their game this year and make their turns tight and make sure they're aware of what's going on out there. Because I mean, when you're in pressure situations like that, coming around a turn. You don't hit that apex right, and it's trouble.
Yeah, it can spell trouble for you, especially for those spotters.
Exactly.
You take that turn too sharp, that spotter's gone. You got to watch your kids. You take that turn too wide, and you're hitting the seaweed patches, and then no one can drive the jet ski for the rest of the day. So.
And that's very important to know. Also, with these new jet skis, we're gonna have tighter turns, so you're gonna have to move your spotters back into coverage a little bit tighter to you. So that's something to think about for sure.
Well, that's something we can work on when we get there this
Absolutely.
summer. So.
All right, so now you want to take no carryovers? This is kind of exciting.
Yeah, this is exciting. We just got word pretty recently from Drew that, and this may be a camp-wide thing as far as it's going to be Raven Gap and Lake Burton now. As you all know, there were a few sickness problems this past summer from flu-like symptoms and whatnot. So we're just going to go ahead and they're going to take precautions this year at camp. And there will be no carryover campers between sessions 3 and 4, and there will be no carryover campers between sessions 6 and 7. Now, I imagine that they'll use those open weekends to go ahead and clean out the cabins more than we would normally in cabin cleanup, and hit the programmed areas real good, and just get everything sanitized so the kids coming in will not have to worry about any harmful bacteria there or anything that could cause a big outbreak. At camp this year. What do you think about these carryovers?
I think it's great because obviously there were a lot of complications that came with some just common sicknesses over the summer this year, and it hit Lake Burton especially hard, and took its toll. And I think it's important to take extra precautions now to make sure that all our sites are clean. And there's good and bad to all this. Bad is that we're not going to have our carryover weekends, but that could mean good news for the staff. You're speculating. You're a staff member, and now you have 2 less weekends with groups in them. What do you think is going to happen with that? Do you think there's going to be less weekends needed to be worked, or are they going to overload the weekends that do need to be worked with more staff, or how do you think they're going to react to that?
Well, I could see them going both ways. To me, it would kind of make sense to maybe put more people on staff that weekend. Because I'm foreseeing maybe we're going to have some more campers, so we're not going. So the carryover weekends may be larger. Where in the past we've had 13 carryovers at Gap, we may be in the 20 to 30 range, possibly even more depending on which week it is. So I could see more staff working there, and these weekends that we're not going to have any carryover campers, I could see some real bonding going on between the staff, especially with the merging of Chalaki and Raven Gap. I think some quality time like that's going to be really helpful for the staff, and it's going to prove to be a real good factor for this summer.
Absolutely. And so if you're a camper planning on coming for 2 or more weeks this summer, you need to make sure that you plan accordingly for the 3rd and 4th session, for there not to be a carryover weekend there in the 6th and 7th. So if you want to stay 2 weeks with your best friend, you might want to go the 5 and 6 so you don't get split up during the 6 and 7, if that makes sense.
That's a good point. All right. Well, I think that's it for the news today. We're going to move on to our next segment now, which is our evaluation.